We've talked a lot about parenting here on the channel, but how do you get your husband to do chores without nagging? Let's get into that today. Nobody likes a nag. Nobody likes to be a nag either. So this is pretty important. There's a paradox, and I think if we start with that, it's going to really help. The paradox has to do with the energy or the fuel or the currency that sets you up to create something better in your life. We go through at least two processes all the time in our mind. So a quick review of the positive psychology model is that we always evaluate what it is. You can't turn this off. You're constantly judging. Notice that you're doing it. Now it might be positive, it might be negative, but it's something that our mind has to do. We take what we've got and we judge it. We're asking, is this good or is this bad? Am I lucky or unlucky? Is this fortunate or unfortunate? I don't know, I'll check. And then our mind gets busy checking. So check it out with your spouse. You are constantly judging, aren't you? Yeah, and it's not a bad thing. Just want you to notice that you're doing it. Now, what if you start with a negative judgment? Oh, this isn't good. Oh, he's not doing what I want him to do. Oh, she's not filling my expectations. Whatever it is, that judgment creates a negative energy. And consider for a moment how you feel when someone else is judging you. It doesn't feel good. And how likely are you to do something productive when someone's judging you in a negative way? You're more likely to be defensive or to resist what it is that they want you to do in the first place. So with that in mind, we have to start with a positive judgment. So I'm going to give you 5 steps here. Step 1 is start with gratitude. When you start with gratitude, you're giving a positive judgment to what it is. So you focus on what's going well, on what you like, on what he is doing well already. Focus on that first. This turns on the power or gives it the fuel or the currency to move into that improvement that you're really hoping for. And I'll get behind your improvement all day long. We're taking you out of the nagging seat and putting you into the appreciation seat, which he's really going to love. So start with gratitude. Step number 2. Now this might seem like overkill, but just hang with me for a minute. You're going to send the message that your life is better because he's in it. Send the message. He really wants to be your hero. I haven't interviewed all the husbands out there, and I know there's probably some exceptions. But the really good probability is that your husband really wants you to be happy. He wants you to be pleased with him. He wants to know that he's your Superman, that he's your hero, that your life is better because he's in it. See, this follows up on step number 1 because it's what we're doing is we're powering up, we're fueling up, we're giving the currency to what we ultimately want to see happen. So it might seem a little counterintuitive at first, or like, you know what? In fact, a lot of spouses have talked to me and they've said, well, if I tell him that everything's good, then he won't do anything better. Not true. In fact, he's more likely to make improvements when you affirm and reinforce the good that he's already doing. Trust me on this. I know a lot of husbands. I am a husband. I kind of know how they think. So trust me on this. You start with this positive stuff. So we've got the gratitude. You send the message that your life is better because he's in it. Now the third thing that we want to do is to start painting a picture. We want to create a vision. So step number 3, share your vision. There's a lot of really great ways to do this. You start to picture yourself, what it is that you want to have happen. What will this look like when the improvement is made? So you might, for example, say to your husband, honey, I was just picturing what this room would feel like if everything were in its place. If it were just neat and clean. I'm picturing that in my mind. You share your vision. Now, how you do this depends on you and your personality and all of the specifics of your own situation. But you want to create this picture. You can make a vision board, for example. You've probably heard about these in other places, and you can look that up on YouTube. Creating a vision board is where you actually make images that you can hang on a board or a wall that show what your vision is. If we're talking about household chores or cleanliness or whatever it is, you get images and pictures of that and you hang it up. You're not even going to throw it in his face. You're creating this for you. But this is a way that you can share your vision. So that's step number 3, share your vision. Step number 4. Now, this one has to do with husband psychology. This is something that brilliant women for years have figured out. You want to ask for his opinion. Ask for his input. This is kind of a sneaky way of getting around to helping him feel like this was his idea. And most of us husbands are just prideful enough to really want to be the ones who came up with the brilliant idea, right? There's an excellent example of this in the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Do you remember that one? Where the women are collaborating to try to figure out how to accomplish something they really want to do. And they have this brilliant idea that they're going to come together, have a conversation with the man in which he's going to discover that it's his brilliant idea. It's funny, okay, but it's painfully true as well. If you can help him to feel like it's his idea, so you're asking for his input. Honey, what do you think? You know, what would you suggest that we might be able to do that would accomplish this vision that you've already shared in step number 3? And this brings me to the final step. Step number 5. Here's the bottom line. Men and women are different. All right. I know it's 2018 and we're trying to be really politically correct and we want to have equality and okay, that's all fine and I'm all for that. There's still some fundamental differences in the way that men think, in the way that women think. We base a lot of our humor on this. There's some science around it. And it's not good or bad. It's not better or worse. It's simply different. And one of the consistent things that we find, and this is going to strike you as brilliant, I know. Men are not good mind readers. We're trying, okay? But no, we're not very good at it. So step number 5 is to make a specific request. Go ahead and say it. Now, I know it would just be so nice if he would just come up with it on his own, and the other steps are to kind of try to lead to that. But if you want your husband to help out around the house, or if you want him to perform a certain task, or if it would really be awesome for you if he would, whatever, fill in the blanks, then just give him a roadmap. Let him know very specifically what your request is. And he's actually going to appreciate this, especially if you're leading with all those positive steps that we just talked about. Let him know that you're grateful and that he's your hero and you paint the vision for him and you ask for his input. You do all of those other steps and then you make a very specific request. Honey, it would be really nice for me if you would. And then you let him know. Just come out with it. All right? Not in a bossy, naggy sort of a way. But in fact, I kind of like that way of framing it. You know, it would be really great for me if, or I would think it is so awesome if you, and then just be specific about it. If you would do the dishes tonight. That would be so awesome for me. You would be my hero. It would be fabulous. However you want to make that specific request, but just go ahead and articulate it, because we really aren't very good mind readers. There's a whole playlist here at Live on Purpose TV about positive relationship resources. Check that out.